Hi folks, and welcome back to the Grumpy Gamer channel. That's it, you guessed it. This is that channel where you get to see and hear this old git talk about modern games. Well, for today's comments, oh my god, what I've just been seeing on social media over the last 24 hours. People are starting to have a meltdown. There's an article I read that said that the PS5 might be the last PS5 that Sony ever make. People are then taking it that that's it. Sony's going to be leaving the gaming market, because already we've got Xbox talking about leaving the the console market in 2027. So everybody's having a meltdown now. Now, let's address this one first before we move on to the next nonsense I'm seeing on social media. So, yes, this very well could be the last PS5. It could be the last Xbox. PCs are obviously going to be around, but I think it could be. You never know, because of the way the streaming side of things with games is going. I think it's very plausible that over the next few years we actually won't need a console. However, the only thing is Sony will need the peripheral of the VR headset. If they want to stay in the VR market, they're always going to need a headset. So I don't think it's really anything to worry about. You know, technology moves forwards and there will be a time when we won't need a console. So don't panic. I don't think it's anything to do with Sony are leaving the gaming marketplace or Xbox are leaving the gaming market. No, they're just possibly they might not need to make another console after the Xbox Series X and S and the PS5. Now, the next thing that I've seen, oh dear. So this is what I read. This is on X or whatever it is, formerly known as Twitter. So this is what someone said on social media: Sony may stop console production due to financial problems. No, I don't think it is, actually. Sony hid from the public that PS5 sales were unsuccessful. How do you work that one out when the PS5 in a lot of markets is outselling Xbox 7-1? So how are the sales unsuccessful? So, dear oh dear. Now, 13 million unsold devices in warehouses. Oh my God. Yeah, if that's true, I would say, yeah, they're probably the old PS5. Maybe that's what it is. They're stock that they haven't sold because they've just bought out the PS5 Slim. Maybe that's what it is. And then the last one, which really made me laugh, is doubts among future development plans as they're $30 billion in debt. Sony's $30 billion in debt. Wow. What they failed to mention is Microsoft is 84.4. Let's have a look. I think it's $84.4 billion in debt. And Apple, a massive company, they're over $100 billion in debt. So to say that Sony is $30 billion and, it's literally going to collapse Sony's going to be out of business. I mean, it's just such nonsense that people come out with. I don't know whether it's Xbox, as they call them, just jumping on this train and want to make it sound worse and panic everybody. But, oh, my God, it just proves to me you just cannot really pay too much attention, especially what you see on things like Twitter. Well, X, as it's now called. You just really can't take it seriously. You've got to take everything with a pinch of salt. Because when you start digging a little deeper, then you find out the real sort of reasons and what's actually going on. So I don't think Sony's going anywhere. I don't think Microsoft Xbox is going anywhere on the gaming side. But yes, we might not see another console. We might not do. And that's not a problem. As long as I can play my games, I don't care about the plastic box that sits on my TV center. I don't care. I don't care whether there's a box sitting there or not. You know, unfortunately, it means that, yes, physical media will be completely dead and we won't have our collections of games. As I've said many times before, I do like collecting games, especially my favorite ones. I like to keep them physically, so I own them. You know, I come from a generation of records when records were the only way to listen to music. Of course, it then went over to CD, and then from CD, we had mini disc for a short while, which I still use. I still use them for work, to be fair. So I think mini disc is a great medium. And so already, as soon as we went from from CD to mini disc, and then mini disc, we went to MP3 players. That's it. You've lost your collection, really. I still have my collection of records. Yes, vinyl is still around now. It sort of disappeared completely for a few years, but it's sort of coming back in a small way. People still like to listen to their old records, and people still like to buy some new music on vinyl. There's just a certain ritual, you know, if you've never grown up with a record player, you know, it won't really mean anything to you, but there was a ritual with listening to music. It was much more of a special occasion years ago. I mean, I'm really showing my age here. But you would take your album out of its sleeve, the record out of its sleeve, give it a wipe with this felt block, make sure it's clean, lay it down on the turntable, lift over the needle, gently drop it down, unless you had a posher record player that did all that for you. But it was almost an event to listen to music. And then, of course, you could sit there. When I'd buy a new album, especially a double album, there'd be lots of beautiful artwork, and there'd be lots of writing all about the band, etc., that you could just sit and read while you're listening to the album. But all that's, it's pretty much gone now. So, and that's the way that gaming is going to go. It just is. That's the way of the future. But I would not worry for a second that it means that Sony, that's it. PlayStation will just vanish. I don't think either Xbox or PlayStation games and as a sort of medium is going anywhere. I really hope neither do. You know, I know there's the Xbox on one side and there's the Sony ponies on the other that want each other to go out of business. And it's like such small-minded a way of thinking. You know, it seriously is, because as I've said before, if one goes, then there's no competition. As soon as you got no competition, then things start to slide. They don't have to work as hard to bring out the next best game or the next best whatever. Well, what does it matter? So you find the quality of the games will go down and the prices of them will go up even further. So nobody, if they're in their right mind, should want either to leave the gaming marketplace. So that was it. I just wanted to tell you about the nonsense I'd seen on social media last night, and I wouldn't panic about it at all. Personally, I just laugh at it. So that's it for today, folks. Until next time, I'll see you guys on the other side. Adios.